Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we've got some exciting news. We're testing out the V2 of Replit Agent. We've got early access, and my oh my, what a difference. There is a huge difference in the capabilities of V2 compared to V1. I've managed to fix a whole bunch of things inside the application that I was stuck on for a very long time, and I actually created manual workarounds for them. My manual workarounds were when someone would sign up in Stripe, I would have to then go in, create their user account, send their credentials to them, and send the verification message to them. Now that's all automated. I've managed to build a bi-directional connection with Stripe for subscription management and automate the sending of these emails. And what we're doing currently is I'm looking into creating a button in the admin panel for taking care of when a user needs to be removed. So I've created a test user and I've removed them, and it's all manual. I want to create a button to kind of remove them from the audit logs and remove their user profile in one hit. So just take some typos out of here. Well, before I put that in, let's have a look at how long this chat is. So the main differences are it doesn't lose context as easily, and it doesn't run out of memory. So I have not gotten a warning all day about running out of memory. I could probably scroll for an hour here trying to come back to the start. It's just a lot more robust, and it's detecting issues without me pointing them out. So, at the start of the day, I asked it to create, here's a good example. I asked it to create um, a fix for the email verification. So the email verification before, it would send the email with the verification button. When you click the verification button, it would just come back to the site and show you nothing. No confirmation message, nothing. So I got it to create a dedicated confirmation page, and it sorted out the confirmation page, refactored the service for the confirmation, and picked up some other issues that were there and fixed it. And it did that in like around, let's say 15, 20 minutes. Now, I spent ages trying to get it to build the verification before and pretty much got nowhere. So that's why I created that manual approach. Now, what it does these days is instead of creating a build plan and then going off on the build plan and not ticking things off as it goes, it now ticks things off. So it lists the things that it's going to do in the build plan. And as it's going, it just confirms that I've done this now. Now I'm working on this. This is the next part I'm dealing with. So let's see if we can find more examples of that. Let's scroll up a bit more. So we've done a hell of a lot today. Like getting the Stripe integration working bi-directionally is a huge win. It's not very easy. It was not very easy to do, and I probably spent a couple of hours on that. And I was worried that it was going to run out of context, but it didn't. It tackled the confirmation page properly. It tackled the scenarios if someone upgrades, if someone. Here we are. It's tackling. It did a test of the confirmation page to make sure that it would come up, and then it showed the actual confirmation page with the token so that it shows that it's attached to someone's subscription, and that was a huge win. And then we did automating the confirmation emails that get sent out. So I'm going to test that next. Now let's see if we can go further back to get, here we are. This is it giving me instructions. I asked it to give me instructions. What is the actual process? So describe what the process of sign up will be now that you fixed it. And it gave a clear answer for all the different scenarios. Now, I'm pretty sure if I asked this of the previous version, it would just have said, task is too big. Can you break it down into small tasks? I can't do it. Too hard. And you would have had to just tackle one of those scenarios at a time. And if you were lucky, it would string them together. If you were unlucky, you'd create multiple versions of the Stripe integration for each scenario, which I've seen it do before. Or with another topic, it doesn't have to be Stripe. It could be anything. It could be logging in, like your authentication might create multiple versions of that, and then at some stage it'll notice and try to combine them. But it was a nightmare to try to deal with it that way. It just creates one mess after another, and you have to compartmentalize while you're trying to deal with these messes. But now it doesn't do that at all. It doesn't run out of context. Now you can see I'm still scanning back to go through what I've just done today, and at no stage has it run out of memory and said, "Oh, I don't have any context. I don't have the context. You have to explain it to me again." Or create a new chat. It doesn't want you to create a new chat. It's quite happy for you to just continue with this chat, and that's brilliant, because it was like you had to weigh up your options before. Do I continue with this chat and risk it running out and just crapping out on me and breaking something while it still has a context, or do I start a new chat and try to explain the context to it? Now, what I've found is every time I've started with the old version, started a new chat, it ran out of context quicker and quicker because the app is big. Just for it to read all the files you had, if you've got a proper SaaS platform, it run out of context almost instantly. Like it run out of memory almost instantly. And, you have to kind of ignore that and just push through. So it doesn't do that anymore. Look, we're still going. Still loads more in here. And we're talking like this is hours ago now. This is 2 hours ago. Yeah, here we are. Here's an example. So look, it's ticked off. It's dealt with the webhooks, the subscription confirmation component, the verify email and verify checkout component, the subscription info display, and the success page, which is where we were having troubles. And it's updating the verify checkout endpoint in Stripe.ts. So it's got its plan. It's going through, it's ticking these off as it goes. And it's explaining, as it goes, it's explaining, I'm now doing this. I'm now doing this. I'm doing this next. I can see what we're working on. It describes your platform to you to say that, hey, your platform is a SaaS platform for this, that, and the other. This is my understanding, and this is where we're up to. Because it knows the chat's getting long, and it has to then reiterate what it's working on. So here, it's just explaining what it's doing next. And off it goes. It's working on some more. And then it gave me something to test out. Now, this is a huge improvement on what was happening before. Before, it was just hit and miss, trial and error, see if you can get through to it in some shape or form, or see if you can find a way to compartmentalize. If I go into Git, you can see today, these are all the things I've pushed today, and not one of them had an issue where I had to roll back. Whereas in the past, I had to roll back, look, all the way to 7 hours ago. Now, if we go past that, we go 1 day ago, you can see sooner or later you have to roll back. I'm sure there's a rollback point here somewhere. If it shows you, yeah, here we are, restored. Right, so using the old version, I often, like I'd say every few hours, have to restore something that it broke or try to push through. So now I've gone a whole day, I haven't had to restore, not even once. And that's a huge improvement. So yeah, can highly recommend the V2. I don't know if you guys have access yet. If you have early access, that's great. If you don't, I hope you get access soon. And let's try this next change where we're creating a button. Maybe I'll put myself over this side. Show you guys how that works. Let's see what it's doing. So I've got like an admin panel where I can manage users, and it's like a fallback to having things automated. So if I want to remove a user, I want it to happen in the front end rather than me go into the actual database and do it that way and remove them from the logs and remove them from the user database and do all that manually. So let's see if it can sort this out. So it's saying, yeah, it can definitely add a delete user button. Okay. Okay. So it's adding the part where it's removing the user from the admin logs. That's doing the server side now. And here's a funny thing. I'm speaking about this as if I'm some developer that knows what they're talking about, but I'm a designer. I know nothing about this stuff. My knowledge of code doesn't go past, editing CSS and some minor HTML changes in the front end. So, um, you know, if you're new to this, everything you need to know, you will learn just by using the system. So I can highly recommend using Replit for trying to learn the ropes for building something. I found it hard to get my head around cursor, but I'm going to try that again because it's supposed to be amazing. But yeah, I don't have a huge amount of knowledge on this. My knowledge is mainly around uh, front end, mostly around design, and partly around managing developers. So I know the concepts, I know the logic behind how to build something. I don't know how to code at all. So um, that shouldn't hold you back if you're running into um, your mental barriers of, oh, well, should I start? This could be too difficult. It's too technical. Not at all. It shouldn't be an issue. So this is taking a little bit longer than usual, but let's see how that goes. Eager to test something out in front of you guys so that you can see how it works. I don't usually do a test, mainly because the old version, V1, was so unpredictable. Most of the times when you record yourself building something, it goes wrong. You've probably seen that in my previous videos. So it goes wrong. I go offline, I go and fix it. I'll probably spend an hour, 2 hours trying to fix it afterwards. But I'm keen to run a live test, show you how it works, um, because it's a lot better than the old version. Oh, there's another thing. It suggests fixes and finds issues, but doesn't just jump in to fix them. Whereas the old version, it would take it upon itself to refactor something you haven't asked it to do. But this version doesn't do that, which is a lot better. If I go further back here, it suggested, well, I just have to get to the right spot. It suggested something that was quite cool. I have to wait until it stops going because it just keeps rolling back to the bottom. But I'll show you. It suggested some change with the dividend calculator and dividend uh, payment schedule. That was like an improvement it thought of that it wanted to try out. I've never seen that before. It also noticed that there was some issue with the WebSocket um, that it was experiencing, but it say it's not impacting this issue, so we can come back to it, which is great. It's like, okay, something's wrong there, but you're not going to dive into it and break something else. Okay, so let's see. It's successfully implemented. Summary of what it's done. So it's deleting everything that's related to the user, front-end implementation. Okay, no, I don't need you to explain it in more detail. I'm going to go in here and try it out. So yeah, let's sign in as admin and see if it works. I've got a user that I can delete, which is just a dummy user, Bob at Bob's Burgers. So here we are, there's good old Bob. Let's see if deleting him works. Yes, I'm absolutely sure. Now, I didn't ask it to give me this modal. It's done it, which is great, because you don't want to accidentally delete someone. Yeah, delete user. Let's see if it worked. Probably give me a success message. No, failed to delete user. Okay. So the good news is the button's there and the modal's there. So let's give it an explanation of what's happened. The delete button is visible on testing and the confirmation dialog is visible, but we are getting an error when we execute the deletion, and that's the error. Let's see if it fixes it. That's another thing. When I'm tired, I type really fast and end up doing this dyslexic spelling, moving letters around and getting things wrong. It's just from exhaustion. It doesn't phase it at all. It seems to, doesn't care, it just reads it like a normal word anyway. So that's pretty good. Let's see if it gets this right. It's just restarting. Yeah. Changes to the database. Okay, so it's still thinking. I think I'll pause, wait till it's done, so you guys don't have to sit here waiting while I wait. Okay, asking it to go ahead with its changes. Ooh, now this looks like it's a bit problematic. It's talking about the watch list table, which has nothing to do with this subject, so hopefully it doesn't do anything strange there. Well, so far so good today. Let's hope that this isn't the first time that it's doing something strange. But I doubt it. I think it's to do with being able to delete the relationship of the user to the watch list, which there shouldn't be, because the watch lists that I've created are kind of static for every user. It's like a global watch list. There isn't a watch list specifically for a user, because you can use the portfolio function for that. Okay, still going. Okay, we're getting somewhere now. It's restarting. Should be able to test it again shortly. Try that again. Come on. It's trying its alternative way of getting there instead of problem it listed back up here. Okay, so it's made some progress, and this is the summary that I was telling you about. So it kind of summarizes what the last activity was and what the project's about, which is kind of good whenever it makes some progress. And then it asks you what do you want to do next. Here we are, user deletion. So it's asking me what else I want to do. So let's just see if it worked. I'll sign back in. Let's go back to Bob and delete Bob. Delete user. User deleted successfully. Done. It worked. So I can push that change now and we're good. So what I usually do is hit redeploy, go to Git, I push, and again, no rollbacks, no need to fix anything, undo something it broke. It should be working fine, and I could probably go through, test everything, and you'll find there's no change. So yeah, V2, big difference. Hopefully you all can get early access. If you don't, I think you can go to the user forum and possibly request it. Hit me up in comments. I can see what I can do to help out if you want early access and you don't have it. Yeah, and like and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for joining me today, and catch you next time.